Hi, y'all. It's Bridget Cutshaw with Real Things Living. Today, my guest is Brian Bontomase. He has a background in leadership development, life coaching, and consultant, all basically Christian based. Can you say hi, Brian?
Hello, everybody.
I appreciate you being a guest today, Brian. I think I love your personality and how positive you are, and you're always trying to help other people. And if, for those that are watching the video, his background has a mountain and people helping each other climb up the mountain, right?
Yep, that's what
Um,
it's all about,
that's
and
that's
making a lasting impact.
that's true. And today, Brian wants to, we're going to talk about his new mission and what got him in to this new mission that he's going forward with. And it's my understanding it's called Graceful Triumphs, correct?
Graceful Triumphs Global Enterprises, LLC. Yep.
Okay. So what prompted you to go towards this? Probably because of all the coaching and consulting you've done. You probably saw a need for this, right?
I did see a need for this, but this is actually a calling of mine that the Lord gave me 2 years ago. And at that time, I was busy working my own tree service. And so, I mean, my schedule was packed full, and I didn't have time for it then. But I recently hung my tree service up. Um, so I'm going to restructure that at some point. But anyway, um, I just one day the Lord came back to me and says, "Okay, um, Brian, when are you going to do this?" And finally, I just surrendered everything and I said, "Okay, let's go ahead." And so I just started like literally almost or just a little over 2 months ago. And so far, I have a little over 100 people, I think about 125 actually, or so, somewhere around there, that are interested in joining. But I'm still working on the finishing touches, and I'm not a technical guy and everything. I'm more of a visionary and a founder and a leader and stuff like that. Um, but at the same time, I just connected with a guy last night that may be able to help us out with the technology side of it all. So I'm hoping to get a website and all that kind of stuff set up, and I'm looking to launch fairly soon. So I'm looking forward to that.
But also sounds like to me you're in another season of your life, a chapter. We all like
Oh
to
yeah,
call that our life is a book, and you're starting a new chapter. That's kind of how I like to look at it.
yeah. It's definitely been a new season, and the Lord has been preparing me through it all. Um, and as a matter of fact, the season that I had with the tree service, I believe that prepared me for this occasion as well, because it did give me the experience I needed with running a business. I did that for 7 years, and and we were doing really well, especially the fifth and sixth year. The pandemic hit, and we did some strategic advertising then, and everybody was home, and that's all they could think about was their trees. So it worked out really well. The unfortunate thing is it took a dive on the seventh year, and I just was never able to recover from that.
Yeah, I was wondering if COVID had something to do with it. A lot of people um, definitely have made a lot of pivots in this time
Mhm.
frame.
Right.
Is that the right word? But but I do like to think. I think you're trying to help people, and you're listening to your heart. You're listening to. Is that the right analogy? But you're trying to help people, and you're there. And I think more people need to do that, right? To
Yeah.
figure out how to help others, especially this. People don't know what to do in this crazy time. I call it crazy because there's so much information out there that is conflicting, and people have to go with what's in their heart, and you're going with what's in your heart.
Yeah. When I was running the tree service, um, I actually had plans to build a nationwide empire with it. and the Lord actually had other plans. So um, now, again, I may start that up again at some point and make it a nationwide empire or a global enterprise or something like that. But at this point, I want to focus mainly on Graceful Triumphs at this point. Once I get that up and running good, then I may branch out into other things as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a season that I've been going through, and it's been one of the roughest seasons that I've been going through because when I had to close the business down, I mean, I lost everything. I had 7 employees that I had to let go. I
Right.
had I had 2 trucks repossessed. That alone was hard enough, but I felt that the Lord just gave me a peace about it all, and I felt that He had a better plan and that He was going to come through for me. And I just had to keep my faith in Him, and it's been working out tremendously lately, and the Lord's been blessing me through that. Now, I will say that I've been without a check for 10 months, so that's been very, very stressing and stuff like that. But I also feel that, like, right now, I'm right in the trenches. And that's what gives this new mission power because I'm going to be right alongside the people that join us.
Right.
And so we're going through it at the same time. And I believe that's the way that we're going to be able to help each other the best as well.
Is it going to be like it's really a community, right? The Graceful Triumph.
Exactly. Yep.
And you're going to teach them like some types of principles to live in life or how to help them, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
trying to, yeah, globally you want it to be eventually, right? But it's going to start, I would think, here in the United States. I'm assuming that's where it's going to start. Or am I wrong?
I'm not limiting in at all. I mean,
Yeah, right.
but
Whoever wants to join the community. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, I'm looking to grow this as quickly as we can because people need to learn about this and know about it and everything like that. And I believe that the Lord is gonna create like the biggest revival through it all as well. Um Now, as far as what you were saying, like um what I want to do with it is I want to create a community where people can come in and almost 24/7 have somebody there that they can
For
talk
support.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
and have support and all that kind of stuff. And but I want each person to collaborate together. So by I believe that everybody has a story to share, and it is important. It does resonate as well. And not only that, there's somebody else out there that's desperately waiting for us to share it too. So just because you may be going through a tough time right now doesn't mean that you don't have the power to help somebody else at the moment. So it's giving people a whole different perspective on life, and that's personally and as well business wise too. So the reason why I am um, focused on the business aspect of it as well is because I believe that we can make a, a bigger, more lasting impact that way too.
So do you think, just as you were talking, I mean, you're very brave, by the way, for sharing your story publicly. I think you
Thank
are.
you.
It's we need to hear stories like this, right? And how this is your new mission right now in life. And when you're talking about the community, do you know like how the content will be shared? I'm just curious. I'm assuming you'll have, like you said, a website, but a platform. Will it be? It's probably. I'm assuming like blogs And is there audio too, or just written form? I'm just curious.
I'm pretty much open to anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off as a monthly subscription type deal. Um, Now
Content.
in the beginning it may differ a little bit, just to give some more incentive to people. But this is the way I see it for now. Um, let's say it's going to be like $47 a month. All right, and then it'll be 500 for the year if they pay for it all at once. All right. What you get for signing up right away? First of all, it'd be a free 30-day journal, transformation journal, right away, just for signing up as a thank you. And then they have access to the community, which that alone will have tremendous value as well. But they'll be able to receive little snippets of the course that we create as well, like once a week or whatever. Any snippets of like coaching or group coaching or mastermind stuff like that. I'm going to start a newsletter and eventually a podcast as well.
It's a popular.
And yeah, and probably a blog, maybe even a few other things just to add more value to it as well. And then the first 2 weeks will be free. During that 2 weeks, I will actually set up a 6-day challenge, and that'll be 3 days a week. And once people see what we're all about and how we can help them, then they can opt into a VIP program. And I'm not sure what the cost will be at this point, but we may have several different ways to sign up. But if they want the whole shebang, we'll have a course that we create, and that'll be like the foundation that we're starting from as well. And then we'll have one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and a mastermind. And I mean, I'm open to practically almost anything. As a matter of fact, later on, I'm thinking about getting real creative with doing like corporate vacations, like a mastermind type deal, and then maybe even a TV show, and getting into or using what do they call it? The yeah, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Like
Um, shoot, I can't.
YouTube or something, a YouTube channel.
No, it'd be
You can
like
create your own
the
Roku channel too.
well, I mean, there's so many different ways that we could do
Right.
it. But the one thing that I was thinking of doing is using um gosh, I'm having a brain fart here. Sorry about that.
Okay.
You'll have to do some editing. But anyway,
Yeah. Well, as you're talking, I was thinking you could also, to help build this base, is have guest experts on too, for like
yeah,
if you have group meeting and having a guest
yep,
expert on, and that will entice people, and the guests can share as well. That's just another way to get the message out there.
right. Yeah, we could definitely do that. Um, but we're we're going to be pairing up with um different coaches to begin with anyway, because as people come in and as this grows, it's going to get bigger probably fairly quickly. And I want to be able to join up with other coaching teams that we can use to have set up that way. If as people come in, then they have somebody to coach them and
Okay.
stuff like that. So that's what I'm looking to do. So what it comes down to is like creating like a venture partnership deal together with, and then splitting the profits
Right.
together so everybody benefits. So
Yeah.
the community that I'm going to be building is actually going to have like a whole bunch of or multiple um, little communities within it as well. So I think it's going to be probably one of the most innovative and most powerful things that the planet's ever seen so far.
So it's going to like basically, my understanding is you're going to start it online and then down the road, eventually you'll have local communities. That's the goal, right? To help
Mm.
grow, right? Local, and it'll be based on the partnerships that you have. That will really help. And having
Right,
guest experts, I think that I should use the word expert, but you know what I mean? People who have experience, it's kind of in a way mentorships,
mm.
people your members can learn from these people and they can learn from each other, right? And that's
Right,
kind of why stories are so important to share.
right,
And there's so many different ways people um, get their information now, and that's why I was mentioning the blog and the a podcast and having different, social media is changing constantly, right? And
mm.
I think that's why we have to definitely you want your own platform, which you're working on, and not rely on, sorry, Facebook, but not rely on that just because you know how that's going to change in the future, right?
Right. Um, the other thing that I was thinking of doing is with everybody working together and stuff like that. As new customers come in, now new customers they don't have to necessarily start a business or anything like that. If they just want to go through the personal side of it and get their life straightened out that way, that's fine. But if they want to use the whole program, then what I'm looking to do is create like a customized solution for whatever their needs are and
Right.
stuff. So that will be really handy, especially for people that never had a business before, or don't know where to start, or and then even having like a funding solution to get them started, and that way they don't have to bootstrap the whole way and stuff like that. Now this is also open to entrepreneurs that are looking to scale up as well. So even if they already started businesses themselves, if they're looking to grow, then we're here for them as well.
That's true. That's a good point to help. I think a lot of people are afraid to start their own business because, like you mentioned, they're
Mhm.
scared. They don't know what the next steps to do, and then the money, right?
Right.
That's you can do things from be very creative, right? And so
Right.
your goal, you're being very creative because you had your own business already, and now you're being creative to help launch the next venture. And so, as you were talking, I was also wondering, where did the word graceful triumphs come from? Is because everyone's going to triumph. That's really what your goal is, right? Your members, your community.
Right. Well,
I
the
was just
way
curious.
it's a good thing that you asked that. The way I came up with it, actually, I I didn't really know where to start from. I didn't know what my name was going to be for the business or anything like that, and I was just asking the Lord to help me out. And I had actually taken the Chat GPT course, and I decided, you know what? Let's just see what Chat GPT comes up with. And that was literally the first name that it came up with. And so I checked it out, and at first it came up with just the Graceful Triumphs. And there's like I think three other businesses that already had that name as well. So then I put the Global Enterprises LLC added to it, and that's available. So I still have to legally get it um, started up that way, but it is available, and I believe that's being that it was the first one that came up. I was like, you know what? I guess this is a
Sounds
divine thing, and that's what the
and it
Lord wants it to be.
it
So
resonated with you too, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's a great example of going to Chat GPT is it does help with ideas, things that, you
Oh
know,
my God.
right. It really truly helps with ideas and it's not perfect, And
Yeah, we could do a
yes,
whole nother podcast about that.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I did a certification too on how to do conversational, AI as well. I wanted to understand it. Everybody's freaking out about it, but you have to, this is
Mhm.
where we're going down this path. We have to understand how to use it to our benefit,
Right.
right? And not be afraid of it, because this is what's happening. And I think you're as we're talking, I'm like, yeah, this is a really good idea to help businesses, because they need to understand that we have to pivot, you have to persevere, be resilient, you have to find a way around it. And you have to be open to options. And I love, I think it's really cool that you use Chat GPT, and you just never the divine, it was a divine answer. Yeah, that's how you have to look at it. And
Right.
and it's I love that it showed up as the first answer from Chat GPT. And you had to tweak it a little
Right.
bit, right? You had to
Right.
tweak it, which is fine. And
Mhm.
I have used Chat GPT, like I said, to come up with ideas like, what about this? Those people are asking questions, and I'm like, wow, I never, it's not everything, it repeats itself sometimes, but
Mhm.
you still have to go through it and appreciate that aspect. And then we have to appreciate opportunities like this. I'd see this as a great
Right.
opportunity for you.
Yeah, that's pretty much another reason why it started off the way it did. I actually took the course before I actually started the business and everything. And before that, I was always one that struggled with coming up with content and stuff. And when it first started getting popular, I was skeptical. I'm not a technical guy, like I said. I really didn't know what to think about it and stuff. But any kind of post that I was reading about it, it just seemed to spark my curiosity about it. And finally, one day, I actually came across an ad on Facebook about this one challenge. It was a free challenge that they were doing, 3 day, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to learn it at some point, so I might as well just take the leap and go ahead and do it. And to be honest with you, now I knew the class was going to be fascinating, and I knew that some really wild things were going to come out of it and stuff like that. But I just didn't know how just mind blowing it was going to be. But the other thing that really fascinated me is that it's really pretty simple. It's not something that's very hard. It's basically all you're doing is just guiding it to do what you want it to do. And I mean, when it's in the right hands as well, it can be pretty powerful.
Right.
And I mean, some of the posts that I've created with it, they are just absolutely phenomenal. And I've gotten a lot of good feedback from it as well. And people are just amazed at how I come up with the content as well. So um, if any of you want to take a look at my content, any of the posts that I have posted at the top of the page, just go through some of them, and the ones that are further back, uh, they're the ones that are the most powerful. And I got to get back into it again. I've taken a little bit of time off from doing my content, but one day I will. Again, I've just been a little busy with all these appointments and all that kind of stuff.
Oh
So,
yeah, it's a good problem that you have, Brian. And I'm glad you're
mm,
embracing and not being, yeah, it's scary as heck to have your business, you know, you had to close down your business, but at the same time, you paused and you're listening to, um, like you said, the divine intervention in your heart, and then you're learning the best way to move forward. And I think you're not afraid of this AI stuff, right? Which we have to understand it, because unfortunately, I should say unfortunately, that's where our future is going to be. We have gone through the industrial revolution. Now we're, to me, I'm sure you've heard of the technological revolution. And so we
mm,
need to understand it to how we can fit in. And you're working on that, and you found a way through just listening to yourself and your experiences, and people can learn from that. And
Yep.
that's why I think it's important. I wanted to share your story here on the podcast because I think people need to hear this, not from people who are super duper rich and successful. We need to understand us, right? what we're
Right.
all, what someone like you has dealt with. That's what the greatest, I think, takeaway is in life right now. Is someone like you. You're helping lift people up. You're trying to pull them forward, and you're. I think that's why you're, to me, you are a leader because you're being honest. I think that's causes, I should say cause, brings in more people to follow you because you're the honesty and being
Mhm.
forthright is so important. And so where, I know your website's not ready yet, but where can they learn more about you? I'm assuming on LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's the best way to reach me. I'm usually on LinkedIn almost all the time anyway. Um, Especially with like the LinkedIn events and audios and stuff like that. Um, I will definitely share my LinkedIn profile with you, and then you can put it in the chat as well.
It's basically
Once
your
I,
name on LinkedIn, right? It's basically Brian
yeah,
Bond.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can also get a hold of me either email or my phone number as well. Um, but anyway, um, there was one other thing I wanted to say here.
It's okay.
Oh, one of the posts that I did recently, well, it was a little bit further back, but I called it the triathlon of life. And since you mentioned that this is like a new way of life of helping each other and being like an average Joe Blow and all that kind of stuff, and the triathlon of life, the way I explained it is it's a race that is probably one of the hardest that you'll ever prepare for. And there's a gold medal at the end, but you're not running for the medal.
Yes.
You're running for the people. And as you run, we're joining each other alongside each other and helping each other along the way. And the biggest goal that we have is to make sure that everybody crosses the line and gets that gold medal and stuff like that. And be able to be a witness for each other and be um, someone that's not only support but an encouragement and just the whole 9 yards. We were put here for a purpose, and that purpose was to serve God and to serve others, and that's what it's all about. So I think that's a good way to sum everything up.
Yeah, I love the triathlon analogy, and it's not about being in first place. It's
Right.
basically right. It's crossing the finish line, right, and then
Yep.
getting your medal because you did it, and you're gonna have setbacks, but you have to be persistent and learn resilience from it. And we have to have, we can't do it alone. We have to have support and cheering each other on, right?
Right.
And I love your perspective, Brian, and I love your honesty, and I appreciate you being on here. And for those that are listening, you can go to linkedin.com and look up Brian Bontomase, and I will have the link in the description. And I really, really appreciate your time. Thanks
All
for
right.
listening,
I
everybody.
appreciate you as well, and thanks for having me. This is my second podcast that I guested on, so I'm pretty thankful for that, and looking forward to meeting your podcast listeners and possibly even building a future together.
You just never know. That's why you got to get the word out, get the story out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks again, everybody.